and welcome to Historic Stony Hollow. We had a few requests for some advice on how to put the buckles onto your buckle straps on your 1680 shoes. So I figured we'd take a few moments here just to go over that. Now to start off with, you may have used the later mid to late 1700s buckles before. Come around here, they're a little different. They have a separate little piece called the shap, and they have some prongs on there as well as your prongs on the tongue here. Now, our 1680 buckles, which are in actuality probably more closer to 1700s to 1720s. This one here, you can see it's kind of got a little edge around it. This was cast off an original by Buckle Castings, and that's a nice little buckle if you want to upgrade to these. The ones you're going to receive with these shoes, they're very similar, but they're just a little bit more simplified. And they're going to have this prong here, which we're going to use to attach to your buckle straps and in your tongue here. So we'll go ahead and go over this. Some things you might need is a punch or ice pick like this. You could use a leather punch, but I would probably recommend an awl or ice pick. You may need a pair of shears or scissors depending on how the shoes fit you. All right, the first thing you're going to do when you get these shoes in the mail, you're going to try them on. Now, you don't want to force them too much where you're going to rip something, but you can be a little firm because they're going to need to stretch a little bit before they're going to fit you perfectly. All right, so we get them on. You might need a shoehorn to get them on. Now, if they're having a lot of trouble getting them on and you have maybe a little bit higher arches, you can kind of look right here where the tongue goes down into the side piece. If you need to, you can take your pair of shears and you're going to follow right along the tongue. So stay in line with the tongue. And we're going to come down and we're just going to trim right to the edge of the side wall there. So you just take a snip that way and a snip like so. Just to extend that tongue a little bit so you can have a little bit more room to open. These fit me fairly well and they're going to give a little bit as you break them in anyway. So go ahead and get the shoe on and we'll give you a close-up of how we're going to put the buckles on. Okay, get our awl ready. Figure out which pair of buckles we're going to use on these. We'll try the ones from Buckle Castings here. Now, if this was a straight last shoe, like some of our shoes are that we sell, you have to figure out which side you want it to be, left and right, whichever one feels more comfortable on your foot. Maybe stand up and walk a little bit in them, figure it out. These are not straight last. We may go straight last in the future, but these are just a little bit more comfortable, and a lot of them are actually somewhat straight last anyway. They're not completely left or right. I mean, they're fairly straight. So we're not going to want our straps that way if we're going to be on the left foot here. We're going to want the strap on the outside. So we're going to take our buckle. We're going to feed it through this outside here next to the little prong, and we're going to feed it back through so the prong will actually catch it there. Now on a lot of your later 18th century shoes, you can just kind of leave it like that and the prong will kind of dig into it, and you can do that with these, but what I'm going to do with this here is actually pull it through and put it on the outside of my shoe and just fold it over. So you want to get it like that. Try to center up as much as you can. So I'm going to go a little bit further to center. So once we have it centered, I'm going to go ahead and make our mark, or if you're confident enough, you can go ahead and punch straight through it. I'm going to take those out, just make sure we're close enough to center. We're not too far off. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that hole. I'm not going to make it too awfully big because we want it to be snug. All right, find our hole. Just a hair bigger. All right, that should be good. Again, I'm just going to tuck it under the side there rather than trimming it off. If it becomes uncomfortable later, then you can trim it off, but I would not do that until you're very sure that everything is where you want it. Now, and make sure your heel is all the way back in the back of the shoe, up against the heel as much as possible, because your straps are going to try to hold it there. Now, I'm going to make a mark there. But I'm going to actually go a little bit more towards the shoe to make it a little bit tighter, because this is going to stretch a little bit. All right. Now, take this off. Make sure we look like we're in center. You can measure it if you'd like. All right. Careful not to run yourself through. All right, now this, the tongue is obviously a little bit bigger than the little prong on the back side of the buckle. So this one you can make a little bigger. Run it all the way through. All right. So, should be all there is to it. Bring it back through here. Tighten it up. There we go. That's all you have to it. Pretty easy to get them on, and they're nice and snug now. If you don't like the way the buckle the buckle strap kind of pushes out there, you can slightly trim these down, but I really don't think they need it. They should fit your buckles fairly well. And again, this is the buckle from Buckle Castings, and these are the buckles they're going to come with, about the same size and shape. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this little video helped some folks out with their early footwear. Stay tuned. We'll have some more videos on 18th century agriculture, especially Dutch and early German Palatine tidbits, as well as some shipwright work on some of our historic vessels. You might find it interesting if you're thinking about dabbling and such, because there's a lot of different ways to do things, and more modern methods are not always the best. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around the campfire.